and Crawford Con Dosso Mobile join here, MPP, and then we are struggling to even get tertiary institutions. Because you allow somehow over the years. Ashanti Regional Communications Director. Friend radio so say Brabeka political and some way can Brabeka be. When you why your research, one man who communication a directorate, a poly resources amount. You speak to fact, you speak to points. What the other concept here? And the about you na po Yando, what is this? Yet meet na kuromo ase mani dum pempen so bia. Si ye pe obi oba be ye concept wo Ghanaian politics mu a whole chairman of Ashanti region. Chairman Bompire Maye, Toriak. Etika onu kura na ye mistake here. Communications director the Nkaoba, you speak to issues with common sense. I'm a party in Yakono party. Now the middle class don't even want to associate themselves with MPP. Party do baby na Professor Kwakwaza Amodia, wamu kondo so mo be join the party. Wo MPP ni che Kwakwaza. Wo MPP ni che H kwasi prempe. But nyoma kan nyoma tan say ya mujama leadership on the yes yes who are communications director of Ashanti region. Now your friend radio so concert nko and gradually he is becoming the image of the party within the region. And you want the youth of the party, the youth of Ghana to join such a party? Maybe na Ghana mine nipa no bebre nko school nti the logical reasoning wasn't that high. O hwɛ nim dear for party, FF Antomo party, Chema Mankwamo party. Na say no mba be ye concert to Ashanti region ka wo Yando so wanka be ye ofam waba be bi. E de be na mo ye ne sa na de be no. No. If you want to do this kind of concert, Obian stop your politics is yours, but you cannot occupy that position you occupy and be doing what you are doing. And such a character says, I want to be the next secretary of the Yabobo Adamu Anadiebeya. Now Ababe secretary of Ashanti region, MPP. Na ye pe comedian wo Ghanaian politics amena ka asema mi asra ni akofre secretary of Ashanti region. What kind of a joke are we entertaining in our party like that? And here they no. Our concept no. And the leadership of the party, many are could be a much one among our ways yes concert. Party ni mu ya honya kono sisi. Ah ye bompa say ye betimi a reason ama manfo no kwado. Ni afro be can national issues. The issues of national concern, a whole Ashanti regional communication, TNC Muna Walker.
What the Duma home some edos, papa, miniaba, your cousin a car, anyway. See, so I say, what more can we, Yajatu, ya dear Becca bin the Onya Juma, the Momina Yawaha.
Paul, 1 year, Dano Mitia Brown, you're not saying the best performing CEO, the Nkaya Sammy Gyamfi. What best performing CEO, Yahaya?
Sammy Gyamfi.
Now, best.
Oh,
any gold bond, but gold bond, the Jumedia or any day, it can be anywhere.
Oh, media means I mean, if you mean Casua Boca, media means baby and Casua Boca, or a young guy, your man opportunity, no near Juma, and your friend, your baby doom, yeah. What you say, you doom need Jan and doom the China, only know who near Juma, good dear Juma, dear, nay, day. Who's home, some would be good with it. What you say, every day, corner, a be right.
What nonsense of is that any idea no. And this is supposed to be the Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the MPP. Say ebi a odeba no ekoto honhom ebi a odeba no ebi to pumu any idea no. Why are we turning our party into a joke? President Kufuor party na wode Ashanti region ho sebi predia say Jimmy sa na de be no. Ya na ya adwen party in baby abedu some of the things we probably won't say it in public. No e obi afa ne nyina yesere. And the party gradually is losing its image. moto ana mo blame H kwasi prempe ne Franklin Kujumo ne J H kwasi prempe say Professor Azam say omo nka bi mamo. How can one be can be mamo when mo behave tantansi? Now mo sorry amo de money bra kwasue wo communications director wontimi nya research and speak to issues. Now sorry amo de money bra kwasue Professor Kwaku Azaso. So one year ye tua Professor Kwaku Azamoka. See ye tua Professor Kwaku Azamoka nti no maka omanu atuma. Ni ye ntia ba mu 8 years. Ada no man hwe omo. Ye de say you gina hensa so wonya sa adwuma no. Enye ne yire no one ne kokoma ne gi ho japade nyina. As a party ni hwe so fo no bia ye de ope. Onyonkon so te ho. Wo ba ya wo bu amamuo. Ken Ofori ata. Ken ba bia wo de ade na mu wo gu party nanimu ase. Ugu party nanimu ase. Ugu party nanimu ase. Eti ken dane wonsa anasa resign. Men resign tintintiniti. Men resign tintintiniti. No gina faako. Ken Ofori ata resign na party no baby MPs mago afedie mintimi nya me ma ho. Wontimi nya ma ho na de wagya o makoro no ho akwa buruchiri. Say ye ne ye che okura ne ade a wo ye papa nko anim nte. Ah? Ye che ne yegu nko wani asia. The fact that you have refused to even to come and answer to your questions, it goes ahead to dent the image of the MPP as though MPP are Kromfo party. Mo ye ka kire mo. E matan time be na mo ye ne sa no. A wo bia nsuro bia wo. Ya ne ya adwene se party no enema bo ba nema bo wo a ese mpanimfo timi sebre wo mano ka se kono Ofori ata wabu man no yie na waye nema na wunwia ya bra be yi wano keke eno so akoye boachi bidi go party nanimu asesa go party nanimu asesa wo bia ntimi nka no kore ama MPP party ne nya kono bio adai ah ede nema na moye ne sa no adai wabu amamuo papa bra ne beyi wano ne ntimi build the confidence in the party against ye buy ni ya mewia obia afena entente na me ma na me yare now wo yare a wani masuaso akora kufu e ka say resign wani masuaso when it was so visible so wo yare ya ka say resign dem mo ma nipa ho tete no because party no mo care about dem benya firi mu nyina manya wi ana nchirima na mo me bre ese MPP party ni nya akono middle class of the country ni person be join MPP because of say bi nioma hunu tantan a Paul Yando ene ne nkrofo say wuntumi ye the whole region ya shawonsa wo be ye symbol of comedy mini gold nchero no you go that table so and nobody could tell him say hey my friend we don't do that in this party. What the mommy and to presidential abaninwe. Me ana my din say sa presidential abano me pese me part of it inti ye jan. Yan to presidential abaninwe. Ni enhwe say mo na mo be choose leaders and I say we the youth will choose the leaders for you. We the masses, we the grassroots, we will choose the leaders. Ashanti region will be a bema woni ko kan kopre ni ehwe. Wo be hye usika kwa. Cause ye pe ni monyam e wo party no ho. Ashanti region nanka secretary no ho ahwan me nyam adwe say but Paul Yando can never be the secretary of Ashanti region. Enim go assemble no. Mo ma yan sebre ya no kan kura wo party na party ne yaye tan. Enya akono. Yesoso ne ma funu tantan so. Why the way this more kasa to Paul Yando? Tell me one person. From a chairman to the last person. Tell me one single person who hold the office within the NDC or be another kasa and people laugh like Paul Yando. What nonsense is that? Mama, you move on. Now to the issue of a gold board. Ura Sammy Gyamfi, you still a yejina ho. You say Ghana to me be a new ho. So suma will be a son to go to. And when I have made a legitimate argument, an argument that is absolutely clear, na menya nkrofo bi say wo mo no mo educate Afrifa on the law simply because meditwi na kire mu ma sofo line for na force for na tiase. So they say they educating me on the law. So one more argument and say, yeah, one more who say, yes, under section 26 and 27, there is licensing of aggregators. So because we are licensed here, automatically that licensing transcends into so we agent of the state. How did we get here? Does the Gold Board Act allows for licensing of aggregators? Yes. Does the act allows for a year funding, handing over the state money to aggregators? No. Does it allow them so by turning them into a purchasing agent of the republic? No. The law is loud, the law is clear, and the law is binding. Already section 3, section 3 is stated the core function of Gold Board, which is non-delegable. Because man you think you know the law more than I do? Section 3.2 says automatically, also Gold Board has the sole authority to purchase and sell gold from miners other than any large-scale mining. Very clear, very unambiguous. It's a sole authority. It means an exclusive jurisdiction. It means non-transferable jurisdiction. It's a Gold Board into me appointing any private company say on Konkoto. Almost a Koko section 26, 27. It is a Okatakyie Afrifa near say Santiago na yesi wi amoase me na metonwa ewo ho nyina obi ani tumi so otonwa it is the idea of license and say enam say me no metonwa no mintimi enko ye ade ni friend say enko sesa nwa no by myself nti yesi ane he ayi kofi o say Okatakyie metimi asesa nwa ni bia bo me say no problem okosesa bi ba beto. The difference between Okwasi Sebiba and Meto, which is licensing, and the entire license under section 26 and 27, is for regulatory purposes, regulatory function. It does not automatically transcend into a physical and as a financial function. It is a Kofi says or Kwakoshibi dia bremia. I don't yamima sebe. The only reason TML licensing is the modalities within which you operate is and one hour walk of Fabano. Someone essay yet essay titia, essay. It's a licensing for said by regulatory or more activities within the space. But the very moment I may mimbotum sikadia suma kofi or says kofi, konne kokoto a young wabremeno. It creates what we call a principal and agent relationship, for which liability will lie in the event that there's any encumbrances. And I sit there and I make a coherent argument to this effect. And you tell me, sir, until the air cost on us. It is so better me a license will be. Oko hwehwe bi ba meto. Oko hwehwe bi ba na meto na wo kona so obi yakronfo ji usika ekwanmu a. Emfa me ho. Because man fa misika ma wo. But the very moment I be take state in sika dia mu obi say, kwana koto bra if there is any encumbrances, liability will lie on the state. Osementi we yase. Won't yase e di ntina anti yase. When the law wanted to fund any activity within the Gold Board Act, Section 31E was very clear on who gets funding. It says that it shall provide funding for small-scale miners in the form of equipment. The act is very direct. It supports miners, not aggregators, not middlemen, not politically selected companies. So nobody should come and sit here and say, we do not understand it because Section 26 and 27 says licensing. On one Sammy Gyamfi, said there is no license in this country. We get the benefit of aggregators because the law did not contemplate funding of aggregators. It is the creation of Sammy Gyamfi and the Gold Board, which is an illegality, which is a crime being perpetrated on the people. Section 25(2) talks about funding for minors, not you can't say. And you tell me, so until the year can I say, what kind of arrogance of power is this? Because we do not go around behaving like bourgeois class, some disappointed Europeans who speak all the big English in tea. Maybe say yenti mo yenase. What nonsense mubu ni yenti. The act was very clear on who is a beneficiary. Minus. It does not need any interpretation. Funds are supposed to, if in the contemplation of the framers of the act, they wanted to fund aggregators, they would have been very direct and very clear underfunding. Wako dia to hold yaba ana mo amu chesikedi e ka kire say yes licensing wo under. Ye be kwa kotie Sammy Gyamfi. When Gold Board gives our money to an aggregator before the gold is delivered, that is not support, that is not policy, that is illegality. Akasiam say yempese ye be yesamo mo de brofo ne ade ne hwemra manfo na as though asemu ni ade ane hwamai. Lord man kwa nkosu asem pese me lawyer. That is not the purpose for me entering into law school. Yentie Sammy Gyamfi, yentie no.
Ability criteria for the aggregator license in 2025. That is why Bower Rock is the only person as at now to have been licensed as an aggregator of the Gold Board. But that license application and approval process that the board of Gold Board, the governing board of Gold Board does, not Sammy Gyamfi as CEO. Sammy Gyamfi as CEO and management only recommends. The board grants approval for aggregator license. That process is an ongoing process. It has not terminated. So today we can have one aggregator. Tomorrow we may have zero because we can even revoke his license or suspend his license. Tomorrow we can have 10 because 10 people can meet our eligibility criteria. So people say, Bawa is the only one buying gold. They don't understand. They lack information. We have 900 licensed buyers, all of whom buy gold. Then they say, why is he only the aggregator? He's the only aggregator because he's the only one who has met the eligibility criteria. Let me tell you something. When we say an aggregator, what do people understand by that? There is nothing, there is no license in Ghana that enjoys the benefits of an aggregator license. Some say, have you heard? That is why Bower Rock is the only person as at now.
There is no license in this country that enjoys the benefit of an aggregator license. So NPA license will be a NPA and the finance many panel. How does licensing automatically transcend into financing? The only reason it is so under Gold Board is because it is a creation of Sammy Gyamfi and the Gold Board, which is an illegality. Now I'm making argument to where to what. Before I make the argument, I have looked at comprehensively what the law says. If within the ambit of the law wanted to say fund you, within the purview of the law, if the law wanted to fund aggregators, the law would have been very direct. Sammy Gyamfi no crofo create system wa omodi ye sika mu obi no magic akra nchobu no omodi. And you say Mabeka say Gold Board no won suma obi aso nkoto. Yes, Gold Board doesn't send anybody say koto breme. Or license, so oh, wow, call you be now you be bad yameto. Just so the yemfa yesika ma, and to okon be to okwamu and nye yasem. Because licensing is just a regulatory function, and your finance, and your re. Sammy Gyamfi mechere yemra wujina so odi yesika ma obi foforo so nkoto ade yemre. Huh? In the event, unu obi co-contractor. Emrano was very clear, say, so unu obi co-contractor. Say any panel publish it. The requirements in the Gazette. Where is the Gazette? Where are they published? Where published terms only within the law, in a way. Section 27(2). It tells you where is it? Where is the legal basis for giving state money to aggregators? Does it exist? Yebusam question where you ask Okatakyie nte the Ekosu Bank of Ghana and Gold Board no ase. Amemo kan amubu no na mementi ase na wana ti ase. Amemo no amubu amemo kan because me bana me bedi nkomo a menkeke kaburofo nti. Mosi momo trim amemo no ase kyeme. Amemo be na moti ase. I chose to go down to the level of the people by using the analogy of a Goro boy. Because that is what social life for Betias here. Even if you Gold Board wanted to enter into any such agreement, Section 42 says that for transparency's sake, you must publish the agreement to the Ghanaian people. As it stands in agreement in a way. One about rock agreement in a way. We also saw Kwasiasam because Sammy Gyamfi ba a year show sure, ye koko ye, a year research near the Ama Sammy Gyamfi. Na Sammy Gyamfi abetra he is the communications officer of the NDC. Oba shows what they pull out all manner of resources and research near the Amano. No abetra no awatre. Or rather years you and a Sammy Gyamfi being to what in your massy a check at the Okatakyie Afrifa. And you're my man out here say. And you're my man what you say. The PMMC model na wo run here. In Section 75 was very direct and very clear. Said by the coming into force of the Gold Board Act, Section 75 says that there is a repeal of the PMMC Act. So anything you do that seeks to rest on the model of PMMC is illegitimate and illegality. I'm a trying to come from Timosi when one thing your man why corner say. Never been a moya mentiaze. Huh? In contemplation of Parliament, or more passing Marano, or man can see and fear can come ubia. When you journey arrogance of power, saying, fine, he could see him. Because the law is very clear on this. Licensing aggregators is legal, yes. But delegating the state purchasing authority to the aggregators is illegal. Financing aggregators is illegal. Creating a principal-agent relationship between the two is illegal. The arrogance of power na mo nya tumi kakra. Mo dwe se mo te de mo ye nyina ase. Ya ye tie kire ne ye nti ase. Ede na mo ye nti ase. Sammy Gyamfi to was what Gold Board for. Muntie no.
48 hours after announcing the end of a grace period for foreign nationals in the gold trade, Gold Board is cracking down. CEO Sammy Gyamfi says some foreign traders have defied the directive, and now a 10-man Chinese syndicate operating from a private residence in Asankragua has been busted.
10 of them who were hiding somewhere in Asankragua in the western region, were hiding in a private residence. So we got gold of about 1.3 kg. We got cash of about 1.3 million. So what they do is that they convert the money into casino cars. Casino cars we got, these are not all. We have a lot of them. These are not all. And when you see a casino card like this, it is money. And they are so important to them so that the casino cars were in this two huge safes that we can make available to you for you to photograph. And these are the pieces of the gold bars that we got from them. You can see that for them to have been able to convert the gold into this form, it means that they have a foundry.
Where Sammy Gyamfi, Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi say way. Any pan watch it you woman away. Sammy Gyamfi na do way by say Gold Board uncovers gold smuggling syndicate. And what hey Mumusa no. Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi says any power with 3 suspect gold smugglers arrested omuway case in Akodri. Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi says national security arrest 25 of illegal gold trade case in Akodri. Sammy Gyamfi no Gold Board no. Ana wono atworo ha the second quarter report or the buy ana atworo ha the second quarter report. Wo hwe ba bia ya atworo legal cases in Asia. Also during the quarter, the legal directorate handled 17 criminal cases. Of the 17 criminal cases that were instituted, 12 of them were discontinued. Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi said, on what basis did he discontinue such cases? Huh? Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi said, on what basis did he discontinue such cases? Oh, yeah, domain market for man, so Sammy ana where you boy, Sammy ana where you boy, because we be mono na you watch me. Nam so Sammy Gyamfi the uncle Bibia. But Mumusa Sammy Gyamfi said the reason here for they discontinue cases in the NSA. na dress mommy asonko didi na fa he ko see he na good board na Okatakyie nti what kind of nonsensical arrogance of power is that? I mean, to me, so be a mentee administration, mentee governance, ni leadership ase. Emamo, simply because I come and sit here and I make a tree. Make a tree because I'm a man for the betiase. Line up your finest brains within your party, any day, anytime. Not in any rehearsed portfolio. Let them meet me any day, anytime on any topic of their choice. And let's see if any of you will stand my intellectual firepower. You are creating the image say because me catch you in it. As a more pain and more pain and fire. A pain tie a bibni. A dear no. A baby. Sammy Gyamfi be ko interviewer. You pull all resources in there. A year a man no about betrase. No rata. Yezo Sammy Gyamfi do abi you. Obey dear baby. Men am your communications officer of the NDC. And I'm what the whole NDC communication machinery behind me. A dear resources na mean to me pull. Famon say hunu so ho ne anwe ye ho say mo de brofo intimidating crofo okurum no ne yewra John Dramani Mahama me won so wo interview wonam wo je fans aka kire mo so wo tem adwene no ase efe your mama ko interview na man ya range dwomfo man bi no ma kugino ne e boje so fe and you can't say stand up. You are doing well. Because in politics, optics really do matter. Yadis kama yujia his wonye bien what they coding sim. Politics, perception is equally important as reality. So if stand up when and crop forward the Jomama gentia, or mudis woman the Jomama gentia. Because in optics, the people will look at, the people will see. And say he is loved. Yenya opportunity in see baby. Dear dear baby. Si muhunu nko a. Emo ye gusu a ye biene fine. Before se me call the main point so me ka kire mo how Sammy Gyamfi enka no kore. Me ka kire mo how Sammy Gyamfi enka no kore. And the last time me ka bibi ka kire mo say muntie sa audio, muntie sa video.
Has been blocked. He's not allowed to participate in the process. Meanwhile, there is this Mr. Roger Frimpong Kwachi in the gold board operations who also, has a connection with this kind of investigations by the OSP. If you appreciate what I just mentioned and you have seen quickly. This, what's your explanation?
We see these things, but we don't respond because we are very busy people doing an important job for the nation. We don't have to. It's a joke. Listen, Roger Kwachi is not licensed by the Good Board to do anything. He's not a licensee of the Good Board. Roger Kwachi only consults for Bawarok. He works with Bawarok.
Okay, so
now this Roger Kwachi.
So hold on. Sammy Gyamfi they said Roger Kwachi. The so-called Roger Kwachi works for Bawarok. Sammy Gyamfi. The so-called Roger Kwachi, he works for Bawarok. On working, and this same Roger Kwachi, if we are mature quiet fast for Sammy Gyamfi on Kanokore. And because he calmly submits what he submits, and then Chamon Treko, I know that and Tiboko. The same Roger Kwachi, Sammy Gyamfi says on Kawan, maybe I bet you 1 year. Muntie Sammy Gyamfi.
Is managing director for a company called Goldstrom. And Goldstrom was one of the aggregators under MIF's Good for Reserve program. They were giving money. By the end of 2024, MIF wrote a demand letter to them that they had some outstanding payments to make. The company has paid MIF in full. And I've seen acknowledgement letters from MIF showing that Goldstrom has paid. Now, that one employee of the company is consulting for Bawarok, and that is an issue. A company that has not committed a crime, a company that is not under investigation, is not being prosecuted, has settled all its bills to MIF, and you're saying that its employee cannot work for a private company. So it is not as if Roger Kwachi even works for the Gold Board or is licensed by the Gold Board. He has done nothing. That guy is a great resource. When you want to talk to somebody about gold trading in Ghana, he's one of the go-to persons. And I think that people should just stop this attitude of running people down with lies. It doesn't help anybody.
Okay.
Sammy Gyamfi a chapter with confidence. Sammy Gyamfi said the said Roger Kwacheno was part of a year gold board and or a consultant for Barrock. Just so you know, there is a syndicate to steal from the people. This is a year finance ministry. Inaugurate a year the technical team of a year. Your friend say gold board. Roger Kwachi na esha asiye. Roger Kwachi, the finance team, a technical team of a year gold board. Roger Kwachi and the D esha asiya. And then Sammy Gyamfi say Roger Kwachi ne nyajuma gold board. Such a character, you trust him? Where my Joe online report? Roger Kwachi din esha asiye as part of a year the technical team of gold board. And the same person now, a technical team member of Gold Board, is also consulting for Bar Rock. Is that no conflict of interest? You are falling in love with your oppressors to the point that when we are drawing your attention, say, you are being oppressed in a very nice way. Na Sammy Gyamfi wo twamotro kura mu so twamotro. Sammy Gyamfi say Roger Kwachi enye part of wanya adwuma ma gold board na consult ma Barrock. Meanwhile, this same Sammy Gyamfi, Roger Kwachi wo share mu finance ministry abonidin so were part of a technical team of gold board. Ana mompa se ebie money. Now mompa se ebie money dia. Made a public announcement, Madama. We ran Ubiane Mameko. Ran Ubiane Mameko. When they make a yawa wasemwa, because the American Biani and Ukre. It will never qua a yawa wasemwa. When they make your mamma buy ye war jinchia. My ya dear papa war jinchia. Your mamma, Umo say Manuel. We are seeing your mama. I want John dear. With this size. Your mama this size, you. She will call radio interview. Come. Mama say, Mano. Why? Your mama buy ye. Say me no worker say. Transformation a bagana. Yes, sir. 1 year on no galamsey na jai. So say Joy yes ba obey you su a year artificial intelligence. Where May 2024 I will use artificial intelligence to fight galamsey. It is a no say John use artificial intelligence. He say galamsey nsuoni nyina ni atenwan. He say illegal mining is now a myth. Nigana nyina come. 1 year down the lane. Your mama wa mensu ani ate 1 year down the lane. Your mama buy a double track ni nyina free ho. Akufo the double track no na enye na bon no. Kan your mama buy we sisi dan akese 1 year. Wa to blog 1 year just a double track ni nyina ya no great e free ho. Ti emo ye nsema your mama. Your mama buy ye Sam George LGBT. Some kai Sam George. And then Sam George no anu fight say LGBT ni ade no. And then Sam George LGBT mumu say say owai Sam George way. And then LGBT no hwe so obu ni sisi. Ada you hold the waist. A lot of way. Eti your mama buy ye shake your waist. He say LGBT no was sign bill no one pe omanim kura hwe. Poof ekọ. He say so source nyina twam contract nyina transparent kama. Gold body die transparent kama. Your mama buy ye wa appointing ni nua bia wa ba mu no family no friends bibia ni ho. Your mama buy ye neutral in spirit from a year bomfa. na memuo no ni nua bi anim Jomama baye okuje trouble akwa aye ni tinu se mirror of justice oka kire ye se won benya 21 billion okuje trouble akwa so won benya 21 billion ora na eba ora ene okuje trouble akwa mo jiska ni nyina ora ene ye ni abreke no foriata mai kan ko an ska ni nyina won ho na aside kan foriata no menim se di nam tamakulu no ya nchene for corruption ya na waban a waba wo so wo ba be fight corruption na nti saa ban no wo se what discontinue cases of a year Collins Dauda what discontinue cases of a year Opuni what discontinue cases ya find prima facie case against them wo so what discontinue saa cases and what just saa ban ni di so wo ba fight corruption 1 year down the lane ora na 20 billion amaye no receipt no audit. But the money is somewhere, probably in the same vote. The Ark of Covenant to Gumuno. Sana oro anaji isikamai. Come. Your mama buy and be beer than aquem. Your mama buy a year 24-hour economy na static youth unemployment a poof. Morning shift, evening shift, midnight miracle. Just say they say nkola year juma wo mabre. Ebitimi year juma kwa no pay wi anwumre no mabre. Ebitimi omotimi edidi ka mu nyina omokọ adwuma because eso run ship 1 year 24-hour economy no aye adwuma aye kama attack on journalists so ajai your mama prices of goods and services no said your mama buy no dollar na ekosoro it prices of goods and services so aba form as they say kenke gakomi you turn 1 cedi gari olonka 1 cedi a liter of oil 2 cedi. Transportation from Pokwasi to Accra no, they say 1 cedi. Ni nyina bibia ye kama. They say Kwame Nkrumah ensama ekura no, wa ye nani age kama. Kwame Nkrumah busa say, "Hey, where dey sama anya hwe o?" Kwame Nkrumah sama anya hwe. Sammy Gyamfi electricity no a user of the tariffs no a wo mode ba no. Sammy Gyamfi ese aba, ese electricity no enrane. It's about meters in nyina ye twetwam sa Sammy Gyamfi de no odi aba no utimi use na wa bre no afre ECG for say ECG mesra mo me light na esiso dodo ntimu num no why ise branche ni nyina nya adwuma ye nurses fo nya adwuma yo teacher fo nya adwuma ye graduate fo unemployed graduate bia ni ba bi ha obia ye employed mesra mo Bibia, some your mama buy Bibia. Economic liberation waba. Na yenko tie eye ono ankasa ne nkrofo anu asem. Owura Franklin Kuju. Let me state here that video na ye bebo no. There is some niema bia entwe Franklin Kuju health wise. We don't care about that. That is not why we are here. Nemo jo mama memwo ne ekoyi eti Franklin Kujo no ese wota jo mama echi no wasi ora no kura de say ya gisika nyina yenkonko ti Franklin Kujo. Franklin, what am I saying there?
We're promoting Nora. We're the ones who actually raise all our hopes, right? And so our hopes have been raised, and now we are. And I don't think we've matched the. We've matched the not rhetoric. We've matched the reality as against expectations, and I worry because you see, going into next year, look, the government needs to. People will start complaining, and I think the complaints will become a lot more if they don't see quick prosecutions. I worry greatly that we are moving at a very slow pace, and things are not happening. Of course, certain cases are being seen and heard, but I suspect that there'll be a lot of firepower coming through the heads of the various, should I call it, Attorney Generals of it. And maybe, you see, what I also thought should have been done, I suspect that maybe this is what the Attorney General should actually do. Maybe they should actually recruit a lot more, should I call them?
Franklin, could you say, and I yes, I know Kawangaza. Or see what Rafon Franklin now was saying your men moving so slow than you were expecting. 1 year down the lane, yetimi mfa will be anchor court on corruption issues within the Akufo-Addo government. And omo divert more attention Ofori ata na ice ache no. Na ice ache na ice in wo deport no aba say wo yi nkwa fight wo case. Never ne ma. We so obu afu. Me ka se dwoma ma ya de no so obu afu. Obu fu a ho efi se de me de kire wo nyina ye nioma a wonye ye. Mamuo no eye kew na taban. Na theatrics ne doso me say Akufo-Addo by first year we ya nioma say ya me sha say me ka say happy FM so ana otan Akufo-Addo no yes me ntan dwoma ma me ntan we. When I see the realities of government as opposed to what the optics shows, I need to be able to tell the people that it is up to nothing. Because I see the Nukuranwa, yes, the CD is strong against the dollar. A knee-jerk reaction to solving issues. I can tell, I can see. If there is any international shocks, if there are any external shocks, the economy will crash down. Because in a long-term solution to problems. Knee-jerk reaction. Knee-jerk. But the better than a man for no atlas. If you say, "Mama, a co-interview here, man in France," and I'm saying, "Stand up, boy, Juma, what you need? Absolutely brilliant, brilliant." Yeah, be no or that for someone showing Jame. I was better when him say politics in one. And politics, optics do matter. It is a LGBT was signed. Doom so yeti kroma say ayi wo ba ye wo say e-levy enyenyenyenyenyenye woda ne ho a no kofa doom so levy bai ama e say yen kan wasem bi ye refi say wo di doom so levy aba ayi akoya ye friend say abranti akoya no kitikiti filosofo su kwache wo di doom so levy aba yen kan wasem your mama ti kroma say wo say o e-levy nye ayi sports betting tax o say de nye we betting tax through an okofa sports one why buy. Galamse nso ni nyina je say yenti arise Ghana for. Na we eye wo mo ankase wo nipa arise Ghana ni NDC for. He will be obey arise Ghana be we NDC ni. J ne eye list one na puku NDC for. Arise Ghana be any baby a. Na yenti aje yenti no.
Of Galamse. I think we've been very clear in the past that it's an existential threat to all Ghanaians, including those of us seated here and those of you who are broadcasting. We would expect that the president continues with the good work that they are doing, not only with the gold board, because note, if there's no incentive to go and dig, no one will mine. If the gold board stops the smuggling of gold and aggregating of gold is done, our economy will improve and Galamse will stop. And we believe that the president will not and must not shield anyone. We want to also entreat the Speaker of Parliament, who has indicated that he will not shield any Galamse MPs, to take his word and mean it and act upon it. Oral is Operation Recover all the loot and not some of the loot. And so we would want all the loot to be recovered. But we've listened to the Ghanaian people. We continue to listen to the Ghanaian people. So you will join us when we go to the American Embassy.
Operation Recover all loot to be here.
To allow
Recover all loot to be. All loot to be. Mobile more recover the here. Meanwhile, no more be a real Ghana sika. Monchichi wamumum. MPP is not a breeding grounds for criminals, and it is very clear. It is will be a real Ghana sika. Monchichi wamumum. Namunya a court of public opinion. If the member will be no bedding a sabako Ghana sikem, ebe real Ghana sika we. No, see because of joining MPP, Tiamra may defend will be undefendable. Then Sumunya court of public opinion, a year cases in war, a year medium, now more form court. Won't prove it beyond reasonable doubt because these are criminal cases. I just say, a tron dorsal, kill net 7 dorsal. Now yet to Chroma say, ma, a year Ura John Domani Mama catches a Kufado Abino, 110 ministers, one be that. It was not buying about where you lean government. Lean government, dear, or Baba, ye Nioma, come. 1 year, 110 ministers. It is John Mama, John Ufa say was only for 57 ministers. yɛmo yɛn nsɛm no hwia ɔdan n'ani ano whisper go Julius Debra sum agye nkurɔfoɔ de ɔmo nte ase o enti nneɛma no bi wɔ hɔ a fabra na yɛfa nhwehwɛ yɛn change ne din no sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ɔmo nte aseɛ ampa na Papa J nso de kɔ Papa J kɔɔyɛ no a na ya change bi din ebi ne sɛ wafa Ashanti region wafa all regional ministers so wamfa deputy regional ministers because onya akɔbɔ ɔmo din so ɔmo yɛ deputy regional ministers pɛ na mmom de ɔbɛyɛ ne so ɔbɛsesa ɔmo din every deputy regional ministers no waka sɛ presidential staffers in charge of the region into all the 16 regions or the ɛyɛ party ne organizers are presidential staffers in charge of the region wɔn gye pay equally as deputy ministers. It is from the inception of this republic, I can be salaries of chief of staff, and son of cabinet ministers, presidential, senior presidential advisors. Your mama ba ye was say one shut down two mudi advisor. Hey, Miami no to kono see. Utimi mano a year presidential special diabe to agric near a substantive agric minister na waba ye Congo he dini be 24-hour economy ya mutui. Your mama instead of appointing a minister in charge of 24-hour economy because it was a major policy of John Mahama's campaign. Or kase ye minister there and we ya mobecheno. Eti mobekanya ka ministers no honya sa eti ene ye be friend say Owura Gusitano a presidential advisor on 24-hour economy. Ti aboy ensema no owo 57 ministers. John wo nice. Na mom no on to the minister in charge of 24-hour economy, presidential advisor in charge of 24-hour economy. Owie no appointed presidential advisor Ejomama appoint Owura Francis Dodu as presidential advisor national anti-corruption program. Yewo eye interior minister, yewo national security minister, yewo eye attorney general. Corruption no si ebe fight here. Say institutions when here. Instead so bebo we din so ye minister no say there be me boni din so ye minister. On bekan aka ho. Etia na me friend national anti-corruption program. Eye presidential advisor. Dem mum ni pay no it will be the same as eye that of minister, cabinet minister. Presidential advisor be pay equated to that of cabinet minister. And so your mama so one friend sa, or friend sa mo beche no. Your mama says of onya friend deputy minister sa mo beche. Eti the SY and say quickly your deputy chief of staff mienu in fact omo ye miensa so kura no and your another setekwe presidential advisor nana ya janto presidential advisor Beatrice one year presidential advisor chese who do communication wing of the presidency omo ye nipa be 60 obi agp as uncle for ko deputy ministers o your mama so on from deputy ministers enti lean government na so na furu dokotwe cabinet level salaries na uncle for itiki and so your mama so onya from ministers and deputy ministers mo ba cheni ntia no from ministers and deputy ministers senior presidential advisor for governmental affairs Dr. Valerie Soya ono so ho advisors for the economy, national anti-corruption, diaspora affair, ni nyina ho. And son wenya at the office of the vice president. Vice president no so kura so another 5 policy advisors. Vice president no honkwa. President need decline so be appointed deputy regional ministers because he ebeche no. And so appointed 16 presidential staffers. Omo nyina deputy ministers. Wo mo omo din say deputy ministers. Me say Kionet aban bia no echen aban we. Minister in charge of agribusiness wo ho. Ani asa abom yanga se menua Peter Boa mo otoku no na nka me no a wonya atumi won frɛ me hwe director of presidency also responsible for agriculture and agribusiness. So this is not efficiency. This is duplication. This is duplication of jobs. But wonya yes happy mo beche no. Tie no wonye. Wonya bo mo di so mo presidential ministers am beche no. Into your one presidential advisor on media, your one communications consultant, your 4 directors of communication, 5 deputy directors, your 2 communication specialists, 5 technical communication assistants, 1 media aide, and assistant media liaison officer. Entering a basin in your mama and teaming for a list of a presidential staffers at the Jubilee House, when teaming for Parliament in Kolei. And these are the pertinent issues that I want to draw your attention to. Beyond the pump and pageantry, these are the pertinent issues I want to draw your attention to. Nobody is paying attention. Huh? And so your mama by was scheduled to terminate a year appointment of Uncola Bebre. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We are said there is no NPP Ghana, there is no CPP Ghana, there is no NDC Ghana. Or Cambro Fochera. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the way in Fakwan. Now, to a man, me drew a year end of the year. All of a sudden, I buy also buy a Nekufu do running or mine down. I won't nisika. Ni ho. Or Baba two in your bubro. So Baba two in your bubro. Now, young conqueror. Young conqueror, dear, are too forcing. Ato a war force one the same Sammy Gyamfi a yenkonkohwe. It yeba confronting the painful truth here. Domain market for man no momra meti. Afeso ye no ato forcing. Oh ya wo dollar no ya wo cedi no ya wo dollar ya wo cedi. Ya wo ne nyina chi ewie no. Die ntia nkrofo antimi amadwomu ametodiyoma ne se teacher for na anka ebe abetu omuka omusu nyame na meka me wi amebo teacher for no achiro. We live in a country where the pocket is dry, the stomach is empty, and somehow no miraculously yetiminya finance minister ya ayi Keselato forcing yes wo che wo ye the new ye philanthropist generosity wo che mo say wa na wo che mo che sika wo che mo che sika wo amfa nko ayi hospitals wa fanko schools, wa fanko nurses, na ni nyina no de koye politics. Iti hwamu no de koma wo. You see 200 bags of rice every constituency, 276 constituency, Kesel ato forcing, eche omo 200 bags of rice. Omaya etim. Owi eniyama NDC constituency chairman bia 5,000 Ghana cedi. Owie in Yama NDC constituency executive bia across the nation 270 no per the structure no omuya more than 15 Yama each and every one of them 2,000 Ghana cedi. And when you small money you me breaking down what you say Yama obia 2,000 Ghana cedi. Yama a year chairman 5,000. Yes is can you it is a 200 bags of rice and the chair constituency bia 200 bags them 276 constituencies. Mwankasa monya mu calculation. Mwankasa monya mu calculation. Mwankasa 276 times a year 200 bags. So as a matter of fact, Keselato forcing what 55,200 bags of rice this Christmas. It is a way calculation average Libiano bag of rice acquire 700 Ghana cedi. Yanya calculation we. If bag of rice is 700 Ghana cedi times 55,200 bags. Omaya isi niska yentimi ntua teacher foka yentimi ntua nurse foka. Yese Keselato forcing bags of rice 200 bags per constituency. It is a way of calculation 700 bags, 700 Ghana cedi per bag. What they multiply a year 55,200 a year. Your friend say 55,200 bags times a year 700 Ghana cedi. It is a meno say a monk to force a chair this Christmas in the name of philanthropy to the party executive. A year 38.6 million. Mumusa to force in so scanway. Mumusa to forcing. So omu opposition no or nya sika ne wɔ he. And son waba 5,000 na yede check constituency bia. So 5,000 Ghana cedi. We 5,000 Ghana cedi times a 276. 276. That gives you about 1.38 million Ghana cedi. And sana every executive biano, your chair no a year, 80 party executives across board. And no say it amounts to if 15 times 2,000 Ghana cedi. It amounts to about 8.2, that is 8.3 million Ghana cedi. The political generosity no costed Ghana over 48.3 million. Onyasikani free here. Onyasikano ato forcing or more opposition no onyasikati map party forcer. Because can we yes ma menka because your mama edge fans. Can we yes ma menka because John edge fans. John edge fans. And send ye yes Sammy Gyamfi so serial callers nyina almost 276 NDC serial callers wama obia 1,500 wama obia 1,000 in fact ono kwade yes wama 1,500 every month. And if every month Sammy Gyamfi 1,500 why multiplication 276 a year constituencies the serial callers woman nyina was spending almost about 5 million Ghana cedi a year on these people. Where did they get the money from? No accountability, nothing. What they call 48 million, why it's about 53 million for political spending on these people. Our brother teacher 40 krumua, 53 million in 1 year, all in the name of political philanthropies. Menoka say senior or Ghana as about 2,500 Ghana cedi. A teacher for a womoka see in Jomoka, Wamoji about 2,800 Ghana cedi. It is Sammy Gyamfi a year to forcing 53 million or must spend it, 53 million Ghana cedi no must spend it just this Christmas on the serial callers and the party. Our money accounted for. It meet your nurse for more than 2,000 a cup for 1 full year. It meet your teacher for more than 1,600 a cup for 1 full year. So right now, when I am asking the pertinent questions that you guys must pay attention to, instead of feeding the political machinery, Menoka say, and Kebetimi a nurses for 2,000 ka 1 year. And so nurse for him. Cause mom for the say your mama, oh, what's me jinchiapa? Hey, why are you? John, why are the papa? John, ya de pa, or yade. And there are no two ways about it. No two ways about it. And then uncle a teacher for most of my day in Timo.
Ghana should speak for us. Ghana should speak for us. We have nowhere to sleep, yet we are expected to go back to the classrooms to teach. We know it is our responsibility as teachers to go out there to teach. Where do we sleep? Where do we put our heads? The mattress we lie on, we even bought it on credit. Our creditors are after us. Ghana, the whole world, speak for us. The injustice is too much. We are human beings. We have wives, we have children, we have families, and we have responsibilities as well. Where do we begin our life? Should we begin our lives on paying debts? Is that what we wish for ourselves as a country? Ghana, stand up and speak for us.
I say Ghana, stand up and speak for us. Yeah, to me, Nyasika de ma party for across board. Nyaga ya tam Ghana sika de ma party for. They cannot account for it. Ya normalizing sim hunu okrumwa. Kadeche ko kasisi ya kadeche de hunu amane. Kadeche Afrifa mensa ko kasisi ya me na me hunu amane. Ya normalizing sim hunu okrumwa. Ya normalizing sim hunu. Nena dollar ba from dollar is udru abochi where 12 cedi. There be a Bank of Ghana say that thing. Abochi no ukura dollar no nso 12 cedi. Enra ya masese bi enra masese bi amede kutua school fees. 12 cedi. E say ohwehwe bi wo Bank of Ghana no a wono say that thing no a unya. Me hu ye ka dollar ba from dia. and can be reflecting on goods and services. And so QNet abainti dollar na eba from. And so goods and services either be one in the bones aho. As baba yo go down baba yo. Yentie a market for yentio.
Here bacha ya go for swankwa. For swankwa banchi no. For swankwa banchi. Last year by this time. But you back get 4 million. Amunyanto. A few 100 cities. I'm bonny boy. I'm million more in this if one must mass until Asamano. Then you know your door. I could have one go for so. I'm back 100 cities. Obimpo knew about two. Obi knew about two. Last year by this time, back with 4 million. I'm going to go to the Atipa at some papanchato. A few banchi, 100 city. Near goofy and if you go to near goofy and my pack a good amount. You made it seem Java for me.
Eti se motie yi a enye me na meka. Enye me na meka. Dollar na di aba fom. Obia nka se aba fom paper so. Uduru paper no so dia dollar na da 10 sa enko ne 10 level. And so for the past 3 months, dollar bia me fa o Ghana bia me fa ne 12. And so you say dollar do 10. Obi so am say wo hin na nke enko gibi. Unhunu. Yes, occupy abochi for yacho, woman kura dollar, so abochi get the dollar. Bank of Ghana get the rate. Near the train you pay a trim. Eti maya wo mu sense sika call China call for China and your mobile. Woman who say dollar net that 10 yana, mentiasi ye. I'm watching. Uni guta ne ayi tag for. Eti muko China, no man who say dollar net that 10 timba metimu ni maso. If it's $1 need the paper so pay and at that time. Nanso nya duru fom na moaten kope bi dia kofa neoma ba onya ne 12 etinya de obetre neoma ne so. Since I won't tia se de ntia neoma ne still ane boarding ne boarding because eye etro amamu QNet yaban eye amamu a ye de frakadam e katamani amu hunu neoma. Gold board aboka ose wo moka Bank of Ghana aboka ose wo moka afi ye pian kwa gold board some fango Bank of Ghana we si mo fanhye we se we did Okatakyie Afrifa mensa. Me baba somu. Adam dibesi. But let me say this once again. MPP munye serious. Na party no nya akono. Na mon stop esa guy na friend Paul Yando say why no. From that joke creating the image of the party as if say nkola good you need. You guys should stop him. If you want to continue to do concert within political sphere, only form as the communications officer. Now on ye serial caller and as one ye on one day somewhere else. Obo pa onko ye a appear stadium in Yomanibi. Nobody will have a problem with him if he wants to be appear stadium. Appear stadium or ya dia or no betimiayo or major party be a position. You cannot occupy such a high office as that of a communications director and begin to do the nonsense you've been doing. As you say, many party no betting uncle for party by the we did Okatakyie Afrifa mensa. Na me shira bebre.
Sememu ni waya mami kunya ya fone mi. Na sememu bageti say ya cha can say. Euradi yes was this